Hello. Bueno, hoy es el 9, March 9th. And here we are, keeping up with what's going on. Gavin Newsom, ¿qué les puedo decir? Bueno, when I first heard these news, first of all, instead of jumping in hacia lo frío, hello. I hope you're not new. Well, actually, I hope you are new because that means that the word is getting out and we're reaching, new people. But if you are not new, welcome. If you're new, welcome. My name is Day. This is Spanglish Generation, and we talk about everything here. So today we're talking about California and Gavin Newsom and his whole situation with Walgreens. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the news kind of reported, and then we'll go from there.
States where attorneys general
Oops.
Company that it risked breaking the law. The drug is actually allowed in at least 4 of those states. Newsom says Walgreens, which has more than 500 stores in California, is cowering to extremists and putting women's lives. California Governor Gavin Newsom lashed out at Walgreens today, saying his state will no longer do business with the nation's second largest drugstore chain. The move comes days after Walgreens announced it will not mail out abortion pills in 21 states, where attorneys general warned the company that it risked breaking the law. The drug is actually allowed in at least 4 of those states. Newsom says Walgreens, which has more than 500 stores in California, is cowering to extremists and putting women's lives at risk.
When you first hear that story, so many things come to mind. And quite honestly, I heard it and I was like, what's going on? Gavin Newsom is kicking Walgreens out of California. And as I was watching some clips on YouTube from some programs and some news outlets that talked about this, I went to the comment section out of curiosity to see what people were gathering from, what they were hearing. And people were under the impression, or are under the impression, that Gavin Newsom is literally kicking Walgreens out of California, and Californians that work at Walgreens are going to be out of jobs. That's the vast majority in the comment section was not really informed regarding what's going on. Now, this is what's happening. This is what I was able to read. When I first heard it, I freaked out. I was like, this man is dictator 101, even though that hasn't changed. That perception of him hasn't changed after knowing the full story. But I was like, there are laws here. This is a private company. What's happening? Entonces me puse a pensar, why hasn't he gone after Hobby Lobby? Because Hobby Lobby is an evangelistic owned retail chain that has over 60 stores in California. I believe Texas is where they have most stores. And then California has the second largest presence of Hobby Lobby. And I'm thinking, why hasn't he gone after them? Hobby Lobby had a ruling from the Supreme Court in 2014 because they wanted to be protected. So by the law, to not have to cover under their insurance, cover birth control for their employees. Long story short, apparently they state that it's linked to abortion, etc. Bueno, la cosa viene por ahí. Yo dije, pero ¿por qué Gavin Newsom no está atacando a Hobby Lobby? Bueno, it's because he really can't, at least for now, en este país. It's something that he's not able to do. Porque las leyes en este país de libertad hasta ahora nos protegen. ¿Y qué pasó aquí con Walgreens en California? Bueno, lo que pasó realmente es que the state of California, o sea, el gobierno de California, had a contract with Walgreens. And I left in the comment section, I'm leaving the link to the actual article where I gathered this information from. So that way you can go ahead and look it up. And I'm going to read verbatim de lo que dice aquí. Because when you hear what Gavin Newsom says, the first thing that comes to mind is this man's crazy. He's going to kick Walgreens out. He can't do that. He really can't do that. Pero what he can do is terminate the contract. And what he's not doing right now is renewing the contract that the state of California had with Walgreens. What was this contract for? Basically, it said here that Newsom on Wednesday ordered state officials to not renew a contract with Deerfield-based Walgreens to purchase specialty pharmacy prescription drugs for California prison health care system, including antiviral, antifungal drugs, et cetera, et cetera. Walgreens has gotten about 54 million from the contract, which expires April 30th. So basically, when he says, California will not stand by corporations that cave to extremists. Basically, he's saying that he's not renewing the contract that Walgreens has with the state, o sea, the government of California. He can't kick Walgreens out. But what doesn't make sense to me is que este hombre se está metiendo en un terreno. Why is he doing it? The only reason is por llamar la atención and to cause noise. Para causar el rum rum. Because Walgreens announced that they are not going to be selling the abortion pill mifepristone. Es como yo no sé pronunciarlo bien, pero ese es el nombre, mifepristone. No lo van a estar vendiendo, I believe, in 20 states. Porque esos 20 states have certain laws dating back to I don't know when that would prohibit the sale of this mifepristone, the abortion pill, which when taken could induce an abortion up to the 10th week of pregnancy. Walgreens simply said, in those states, we're not going to sell the pill. California is not one of those states. Walgreens will definitely completely continue to sell the drug, the abortion pill, in California. So why would this man go after a company? Not even for their ideological, because it's obvious that unlike other companies, Walgreens does not have an ideological or religious position regarding abortion. They're going to be selling the abortion pill wherever they can. Wherever they don't have the threat of being infringing the law. And as a private company, if they're going to be avoiding the trouble of having to face legal action, I don't blame them. So this man is causing a big deal, an uproar, because Walgreens said that in those states where it's iffy and borderline for them to sell this drug because they're following the law, that they will not sell the drugs in those states, but they will continue to sell the drugs in other states, including California. I want to go beyond this, though, because when you think about this, people like Gavin Newsom, un peligro. Who cares what your stance on abortion is? Who cares? I don't care if you're pro-choice. I don't care if you are pro-life at this point. That really doesn't matter. Let's focus on Gavin Newsom and his demeanor. And people like him is the reason why we need to be so vigilant about preserving freedom in this country. Because people like Gavin Newsom, who is so far to the left, to rescue. Ya él está demasiado lejos para rescatar. Okay? These are the people, imagine, amplified, how these people would be in a socialist system where the government owns and controls everything. Because he couldn't kick California out he couldn't, I keep saying he couldn't kick California out. I'm sure a lot of Californians want him out. Want to kick him out. But he couldn't kick Walgreens out of California because he can't. But what he could do, he did, which was take the government contract away from Walgreens. Que en realidad it's not going to hurt Walgreens all that much because it says here that the company reported 132.7 billion. So, lo que Gavin Newsom está haciendo quitándole un contrato de 54 million, de 54 millones, en la vida real. He said, we can find the products somewhere else. Los productos para los presos en las cárceles de California. Él dijo, no, lo encontramos en otro lado. That's what he did. Le quitó el contrato a Walgreens de las medicinas de los presos en California. Él no votó a Walgreens para ningún lado. Walgreens se queda en California. Nobody's losing their job. Pero él quería formar el lío, el ruido de que I am for women's rights. He doesn't care about women's rights. What rights does he care about? A ver, dime. How does this show that he cares for women's rights? Because in his state, Walgreens is still very much selling the drug. Why do I say this is for show? And he really doesn't care. Bueno, porque en realidad él dijo, cancelé el contrato con Walgreens. Because he's saying that Walgreens caved in to the red state's pressure. Let me tell you, si hay una amenaza de que tú vas a infringir una ley by selling a certain product as a private business, tú tienes la opción de no venderlo y punto. Walgreens no ha salido a decir, we are pro-life. Walgreens no ha salido a decir nada de eso. Walgreens vende el abortion pill. En muchos otros estados, including California. Eso no entiendo. This is an attack on women. What attack on women? This is a private company that's watching their back. Why try to twist this? This is not an attack on anybody. Simplemente una compañía privada watching their back. But again, my question is Walgreens the only pharmacy que va a vender este abortion pill? Explain to me. Dime si Walgreens va a ser la única farmacia que va a vender el abortion pill. Talk to me. Porque as far as I'm concerned, Walgreens no es la única farmacia en Estados Unidos. There are many other pharmacies. And I'm pretty sure that the pressure that was placed on Walgreens or is being placed on Walgreens by these states that have these laws that could potentially make it illegal to sell the abortion pill in these states, they're also going to be receiving the same pressure Walgreens received. Ya sean retailers como Walmart que tienen farmacia o CVS, cualquier tipo de chain que tenga farmacia that could potentially carry this product will face the same pressure Walgreens faced. Pero bueno, it just turns out that Gavin Newsom had a contract. The state of California had a contract with Walgreens. So it was the only thing in his control. And he decided to make a big fuss and say, Walgreens, Walgreens, Walgreens. But he's really not exposing the bigger picture, really. If you really care so much, then you really need to take this up with the lawmakers. So the laws in those states change. Not Walgreens. Walgreens is just trying to not get into a legal battle here and continue to sell what they've been selling. He's not tackling the real issue. He's just showing off. He's just bowing down to a base that he needs. And a lot of people are just being played and letting themselves be played, allowing him to score coup points at their mercy. And here they are clapping. Gavin Newsom. He cares about women. We need more people like him. He's not a fascist. No, pero tú sabes que es tremendo tronco de socialista. Y eso no lo digo sin que me quede nada por dentro. ¿Tú te imaginas cómo sería un mundo en que el gobierno, bueno, si eres cubano o venezolano o nicaragüense, el cubano que lleva 63 años de dictadura understands perfectly what it looks like. But you, dear friend, who, if you're watching and you've never lived in a communist or socialist state, could you imagine people like Gavin Newsom having control over everything? If he had a fit and he just broke a contract Así de pronto, bang, no me da la gana. Ay, because you're not selling. In my state, you're still selling the abortion pill, but you're not selling it over there. I'm cutting the contract that the state has with you. You're a private business, but my state is not going to be doing any more business with you. And if I could, and I'm pretty sure what he's saying is if I could kick you out, I would. Lesson learned from this is, caballero, the more power these people have, remember, those of you that want universal everything, that want the government to take charge of everything because you believe the government is going to be the great equalizer. It's going to give people equality. Dear friend, buddy, mi amor, Titi, think again. Look at people like Gavin Newsom. And this is on the left, but on the right también existe potential for people to go crazy. Lo que pasa es que, proverbially on the right, there is a culture of less government, more people. Pero igual está el potencial para volverse loco. Lo que pasa es que we're seeing el trend marcado on the left, más que on the right, ahora mismo en Estados Unidos. And Gavin Newsom is a perfect example of that. Tomando represalia with the one thing he could, a government contract. I'll take my little 54 million contract. No, it's not going to cost a dent in your financials because you make billions. Pero bueno, yo me salgo con la mía. Y ese tipo de actitud y esa mentalidad, when you give them power and you amplify that, and you have people like him in power, what do you think is going to happen? Could you imagine living like that? Thank God we have private companies que pueden decidir hacer lo que les salga de su, vaya, lo que le dé su gana. Could you imagine if it wasn't like that? If the companies belonged to the government and people like Gavin Newsom ruled over everything, ruled over your hospitals, your grocery stores, your pharmacies, todo. You couldn't have your own business. They ruled everything. For those of you that still believe que people like Gavin Newsom care, think again. And I implore you to analyze las cosas, mira, con una lupa, and take the emotion aspect out of it. Read into things. Don't fall for the headlines. Dig deeper. That's if you care. Hi, Yami. Welcome. Ya casi estamos terminando. Pero you guys, you have to really, really be objective when thinking about the procedure utilizado por esta gente en el gobierno. That's why I get criticized a lot, because I do lean right. I'm an independent who definitely leans right. Pero I get criticized a lot cuando digo, óyeme, que el potencial está también ahí en la derecha. El potencial está también ahí en la derecha. No podemos cegarnos, no podemos vivir en esta cultura de cultismo, de culto, como que todos endiosamos a la gente y nos volvemos locos. Y que si tú hablas mal de mi candidato, de mi gobernador, mira, DeSantis, a mí DeSantis tampoco es santo de mi devoción. Would I vote for him? Absolutely, sí significa que es el mejor candidato, pero tampoco quiere decir que yo tenga que enamorarme de DeSantis y DeSantis forever. No. We have to learn to be objective. No podemos obsesionarnos. And I see a lot of people con Gavin Newsom en California. Todo lo que hace Gavin Newsom les parece bien. Bueno, imagínate tú. Gracias a Dios que este país tiene las leyes que tiene hasta el sol de hoy. And we have to do, cuando a veces movemos cosas así, and again, forget about what your stance is on abortion. This is about the dictatorial attitude de una persona con poder. Okay? Simple y llanamente. And I think that we need to stop. As people, We need to stop looking at people in power como el ejemplo a seguir. They're not role models. They're employees. They're public servants. For the most part, they're out for themselves. Y nosotros aquí aplaudiéndolo. Think again. Think again. While we are peleándonos de un lado al otro, de un bando al otro, de un partido al otro, no que si tú, no que si el otro, ellos allá arriba se están dando la mano. Ellos allá arriba se están dando la mano y en su fiestecita están ahí pegados uno encima del otro ahí, ven, ahí, y brindando. Y nosotros aquí abajo comiéndonos el cable. Thank you for watching. Keep your eyes open and your heart.